That healthy salad on your plate may not be helping you the way it did 20 years ago. You may be eating spinach every morning, raw kale at lunch, tomatoes at dinner, and telling yourself, I am doing everything right. But then your stomach feels bloated, your joints feel stiff, your reflux gets worse, your kidneys are being watched, or your doctor says your potassium, thyroid, or kidney stone risk needs attention. And suddenly, the simple advice to eat more vegetables is not so simple anymore. I am Dr. Daniel Brooks, and I want to explain this carefully. Vegetables are not the enemy. Most people need more vegetables, not fewer. But after 60, your body does not always handle food the same way it did when you were 30 or 40. Your digestion slows, your kidney function may change, your medications matter more, your thyroid may be more sensitive, your joints may react to foods that never bothered you before. So this is not about fear, this is about choosing smarter. Today, I want to show you 3 vegetables older adults should be careful with, especially in the wrong form or in large amounts, and 3 vegetables I would like to see more seniors eat regularly because they support the heart, bones, brain, blood flow, and healthy aging. Now, before we name them, listen to this part. After 60, your body becomes more sensitive to inflammation. Not the kind where you twist an ankle and it swells. I mean slow, quiet inflammation inside the body. The kind that affects arteries, joints, the brain, blood sugar, and the gut. At the same time, your digestive system may produce fewer enzymes. Your gut bacteria may become less balanced, the bowel may move more slowly, and your kidneys may not clear certain compounds as strongly as before. That is why a vegetable can be healthy in general, but still not right for every senior in every amount. The first vegetable to be careful with is raw spinach. Now, spinach is not bad. Spinach has folate, vitamin K, iron, magnesium, and antioxidants. But raw spinach is also very high in oxalates. Oxalates are natural compounds found in many plants. For many people, small amounts are not a problem. But in people with a history of kidney stones, kidney disease, or high oxalate risk, large amounts of raw spinach can become an issue. Oxalates can bind with calcium and form calcium oxalate crystals. That is the most common type of kidney stone. And if you have ever had a kidney stone, you know it is not a small discomfort. It can be severe pain. The biggest mistake I see is not someone eating a little spinach with dinner. The mistake is the daily green smoothie with 2 or 3 large handfuls of raw spinach every morning for months or years. A person thinks they are protecting their health, but they may be loading the body with more oxalate than their kidneys can comfortably handle. Now, look at the simple fix. Cook the spinach. Steam it. Sauté it, add it to soup. Cooked spinach is easier to eat in a controlled portion, and cooking can reduce some of the oxalate load. You do not have to fear spinach. You just need to stop treating giant bowls of raw spinach like they are harmless for every older body. If you have kidney stones, kidney disease, or your doctor has warned you about oxalates, ask directly how much spinach is safe for you. The second vegetable group to be careful with is large amounts of raw cruciferous vegetables. That means raw kale, raw broccoli, raw cauliflower, raw Brussels sprouts, and raw cabbage. Again, these are not bad foods. In fact, they are some of the best vegetables on earth when prepared well. They contain fiber, vitamin C, antioxidants, and plant compounds that support detox pathways and long-term health. But raw cruciferous vegetables can be hard on older digestion. They can cause gas, bloating, cramping, and discomfort, especially when eaten in large amounts. And for people with thyroid problems, very large amounts of raw cruciferous vegetables may be worth discussing with a doctor because they contain compounds that can interfere with iodine use in the thyroid when intake is excessive and iodine intake is low. Now, I am not saying a little raw cabbage in a salad will damage your thyroid. That is not the message. The message is this: if you are over 60, already have low thyroid function, take thyroid medication, feel bloated after raw kale or broccoli, or are forcing down huge raw green salads because you think that is the only healthy way to eat, it may be time to change the form. Cook them. Steam broccoli until it is tender. Roast Brussels sprouts. Stir-fry cabbage. Add cauliflower to soup. Cooking makes these vegetables easier to digest and often much easier for seniors to tolerate. This is the key lesson so far. Do not remove good foods too quickly. Change the preparation first. Raw can be harsh. Cooked can be healing. The third vegetable group to watch is nightshades, especially if you have joint pain, reflux, or food sensitivity. Nightshades include tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, and white potatoes. Now, this one needs honesty. Many people eat nightshades with no problem at all. Tomatoes can be very healthy. They contain lycopene, which supports heart and prostate health. Peppers contain vitamin C. Eggplant has fiber and plant nutrients. Potatoes can be part of a balanced diet for some people. But some older adults notice that nightshades make their joint pain worse. Others notice reflux after raw tomatoes or tomato sauce. Some feel more stiffness, more swelling, or more digestive irritation. This does not happen to everyone, but it happens often enough that it is worth paying attention to. If you have arthritis and you eat tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, or potatoes every day and your joints are still angry, you do not need to panic. You can run a simple test with your doctor's approval. Remove nightshades for a few weeks, keep everything else steady, and see if your symptoms improve. Then reintroduce them and watch what happens. Your body will often tell you the truth. With tomatoes, cooking may actually improve the availability of lycopene, so a cooked tomato soup or sauce may be better tolerated by some people than raw tomato slices. But if reflux is your problem, even cooked tomato may still bother you because of acidity. So the rule is not never eat tomatoes. The rule is pay attention to your body. Now, we have talked about the vegetables to be careful with. Raw spinach in large amounts of raw cruciferous vegetables, nightshades for people who are sensitive, especially with reflux or joint pain. Now let us move to the vegetables I want more seniors to use. The first is garlic. Garlic may look small, but it is powerful. It supports heart health, blood vessel function, immune defense, and the gut. Garlic contains sulfur compounds that are released when it is chopped or crushed. These compounds are linked with better blood pressure support, healthier cholesterol patterns, and reduced inflammation. For older adults, this matters because the heart and blood vessels have worked for decades. The arteries may be stiffer, blood pressure may be higher, circulation may not be as strong. Garlic is one of those simple foods that can support the cardiovascular system without needing a complicated recipe. But there is one trick. Crush or chop the garlic and let it sit for about 10 minutes before cooking. This gives the active compounds time to form. Then add it to soups, vegetables, sauces, eggs, beans, or fish. But if you take blood thinners, have bleeding problems, or are scheduled for surgery, do not suddenly start eating large amounts of garlic or taking garlic pills without asking your doctor. Food amounts are usually fine for many people, but supplements can be much stronger. The second vegetable I want seniors to eat more often is cooked leafy greens, especially bok choy, collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens, and similar greens. These are different from forcing down huge raw salads. Cooked greens are softer, easier to chew, easier to digest, and full of nutrients that older bodies need. They support bone health with calcium, magnesium, vitamin K, and other minerals. They support the gut with fiber. They support blood vessels with antioxidants. And they can help replace the low-nutrient foods many seniors accidentally rely on, like white bread, crackers, sweets, and processed snacks. Bone health after 60 is not a side issue. It is independence. A weak bone can turn one fall into a hip fracture. A hip fracture can turn an independent person into someone who needs help walking, bathing, shopping, and living. So, when we talk about leafy greens, we are not talking about looking healthy. We are talking about protecting your future mobility. Bok choy is a good choice because it is usually easier to digest than many raw greens. You can stir-fry it with garlic and olive oil. You can add it to soup. You can steam it as a side dish. Collard greens and mustard greens can also be cooked slowly until tender. One warning: if you take warfarin, you need consistent vitamin K intake and medical guidance. Do not suddenly change your greens without talking to your doctor. The goal is not avoiding greens. The goal is consistency and safety. The third vegetable I want more seniors to consider is beets. Beets are especially interesting because they support blood flow. They contain natural nitrates, which the body can convert into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide helps blood vessels relax and widen. This can support blood flow to the muscles and the brain. And after 60, blood flow matters everywhere. It matters in the legs when you walk. It matters in the brain when you think. It matters in the heart when you climb stairs. It matters in the small vessels that feed every organ. Beets also contain colorful plant compounds that help fight oxidative stress. They can be roasted, added to soups, sliced into salads after cooking, or blended into a small beet drink if your doctor says that is safe for you. But again, use wisdom. If you have kidney disease, kidney stones, are on a potassium restriction, or have been told to follow a special diet, ask your doctor or dietitian before making beets a daily habit. Beets can also turn urine or stool red, which can scare people if they do not expect it. But if you see blood or are unsure, always check with a doctor. Now, let us bring this together in a way you can actually use. If you are over 60, the goal is not to fear vegetables. The goal is to stop eating on autopilot. Raw spinach every day in large smoothies may not be right for someone with kidney stone risk. Raw kale and raw broccoli every day may not be right for someone with bloating, thyroid concerns, or weak digestion. Tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, and potatoes may not be right for someone who notices joint pain or reflux after eating them, but garlic, cooked leafy greens, and beets can be strong allies for many older adults when used safely and regularly. Now, here is a simple weekly plan. Use cooked greens several times a week. Add garlic to meals most days if you tolerate it. Try beets once or twice a week. Cook your spinach instead of drinking large raw amounts. Cook cruciferous vegetables instead of forcing raw salads. And if nightshades seem to worsen your joints or reflux, test your tolerance instead of guessing. This is not extreme. This is practical. And practical is what works after 60 because your body does not need perfection. It needs consistency. One better meal repeated often can do more than one perfect diet followed for 3 days and abandoned. Now I want you to remember something important. Your plate can either make aging harder or make aging easier. The right foods can help your heart work better. They can help your blood vessels stay more flexible. They can feed your gut bacteria. They can support your bones. They can help your brain get the blood and nutrients it needs. They can reduce the daily inflammation that makes you feel older than you are. But the wrong form of a healthy food can still cause problems. That is the part many people miss. Spinach is healthy, but huge amounts raw may be wrong for some kidneys. Broccoli is healthy, but cooked may be better than raw for many older stomachs. Tomatoes are healthy, but not if they set your reflux on fire every night. So do not ask only, is this food healthy? Ask, is this food healthy for me, in this form, with my body, my medicines, and my conditions? That question changes everything. I am Dr. Daniel Brooks, and if you are over 60, I do not want you afraid of vegetables. I want you informed. I want you choosing the ones that support your heart, brain, bones, gut, and independence. And I want you preparing them in a way your body can actually use. Start with one change this week. Cook the spinach, steam the broccoli, add garlic to dinner, try bok choy in soup, roast some beets, or notice whether tomatoes make your reflux or joints worse. One change is enough to begin, because after 60, health is not built by one dramatic decision. It is built by small choices that protect your body every single day. Everything shared here is for general education only. It is not personal medical advice. If you have kidney disease, kidney stones, thyroid disease, reflux, arthritis, diabetes, heart disease, or take blood thinners or other regular medication, talk with your doctor before making major diet changes.